Good evening, students. Welcome back to lesson 4 of our carbon chemistry. And now today we are starting from carbon cycle. So now, carbon cycle describes the process which increase or decrease the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So those processes which increase or decrease the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is what we call carbon cycle. So today we are going to discuss what carbon cycle is in details and those processes which increase or decrease the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So carbon is about 0.0% by volume of air in the atmosphere. So that is the percentage of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It is 0.03%. The highest gas that carries highest percentage is nitrogen. So this is lesson 4 and we're going to discuss all about carbon cycle and much more as we are continuing down. So if it is your first time on this channel, you click the subscribe button, share with your friends, and also comment if you have any question or if you have not understood anyway, and also like the video. So now we begin from addition of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. What are some of the processes that increase the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? So the first one is respiration. So respiration during the breathing in and out. So as you breathe out carbon dioxide. Therefore, there you are increasing the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. We have combustion as the second process. So as you burn firewood, as you burn charcoal, as you burn anything else that you burn, it produces carbon dioxide that increases the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Then the other one is decomposition. So decomposition, when living organisms die and then decompose, or the organic matter decomposes, it gives out carbon dioxide. Then fermentation, it is the process that is used in the making of alcohol. So it also contributes to the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So now, when the amount of carbon dioxide is increased in the atmosphere, it causes the greenhouse effect, which tends to increase the temperature of the atmosphere. So increasing much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is so dangerous because it increases the temperature of the atmosphere. So now those are some of the processes that are involved in the addition of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. So now we have processes which remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So it is done by, the first one is photosynthesis. So as plants make their own food, they use carbon dioxide and give out oxygen. So as they use carbon dioxide, they reduce the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So that is one process. The second one is that some carbon dioxide, they dissolve in rainwater and other natural waters. As they dissolve, a weak carbonic acid is formed. So you can see the equation there: carbon dioxide gas plus water which is a liquid, it is forming carbonic acid. So this carbonic acid is very weak. So now these reactions, these ones where you find that we have two dots, we have two arrows, so they are called reversible reactions. It means that this product that is formed as carbonic acid, it can change back and it becomes these reactants. So that is what it means. So now we continue now and we look at carbon dioxide gas. So now carbon dioxide is a gas found in the atmosphere and occupies 0.03% by volume of air, just as we have seen. So that is carbon dioxide gas. And also here the major thing is we want to look at the laboratory preparation of carbon dioxide gas from marble chips and dilute hydrochloric acid. So this is a common question. They normally ask that describe the laboratory preparation of carbon dioxide gas from marble chips and dilute hydrochloric acid. So we are going to first understand what marble chips are or what they mean. So subscribe if it is for your first time, and please share with your friends so that they can also be updated with this e-learning platform. So now when you are preparing carbon dioxide gas, we get marble chips, the one called calcium carbonate. So the chemical name is calcium carbonate, then marble chips is trade name. So calcium carbonate is placed in a flat bottomed flask and dilute hydrochloric acid is added through a thistle or dropping funnel. So from there will be effervescence of a colorless gas that will be given off, and that gas is collected over water because it is slightly soluble in water. So you can check here, you can see here the equation is we have calcium carbonate. So when this calcium carbonate reacts with HCl, you form calcium chloride plus water plus carbon dioxide gas, and then you balance the equation. Also we have the ionic equation. Calcium carbonate contains carbonate ions. So the carbonate ions react with the hydrogen ions from the acid, forming water and carbon dioxide gas. So here we have a diagram. You can pause the video and copy. So the diagram is showing a summary of the preparation of carbon dioxide. We get marble chips in a flat bottomed flask, then we get HCl, we add it using this thistle funnel, and then here we have the delivery tube, then we get the bubbles of a colorless gas here. You can see them here, the bubbles they are here. So these bubbles they are the one of carbon dioxide gas. So that is the diagram, you can draw it. Then there is a note that carbon dioxide can be prepared from any carbonate when reacted with an acid. So if you get any carbonate and you react it with an acid, you form carbon dioxide gas, and that process is called the laboratory preparation of carbon dioxide gas. So for example, here we have copper 2 carbonate. Copper 2 carbonate is reacting with hydrochloric acid to form copper 2 chloride, water and carbon dioxide gas. So that is one of how we can prepare carbon dioxide gas. The other is by getting zinc carbonate, because it is any carbonate plus any acid, nitric acid, forming zinc nitrate plus water plus carbon dioxide. There we have also prepared the carbon dioxide gas. So now from there we have a note that dilute sulfuric acid cannot be used on calcium carbonate to prepare carbon dioxide gas. So here there is an exception of one gas, that dilute sulfuric acid cannot be used on calcium carbonate. These are the ones which we call marble chips. So it cannot be used on them to prepare carbon dioxide gas. And the reason is because sulfuric acid, it reacts with calcium carbonate to form calcium sulfate. And this calcium sulfate is slightly soluble and hence forms a coating on calcium carbonate, which stops further reaction. So there we have an equation of calcium carbonate reacting with sulfuric acid. It forms calcium sulfate, which is slightly soluble. So it prevents calcium carbonate from continuing to react. Hence it forms little products. So now here there is a common question that is normally asked, that explain why sulfuric acid cannot be used on marble chips to prepare carbon dioxide gas. So now here you explain why carbon dioxide, why sulfuric acid cannot be used on marble chips to prepare carbon dioxide gas. So you have seen the reason. The reason is because the sulfuric acid, this is the reason, sulfuric acid reacts with calcium carbonate to form calcium sulfate, which is slightly soluble, and it forms a coating on calcium carbonate, which stops further reaction. So that is the clear reason as for that question. So now let us see the laboratory preparation of dry carbon dioxide gas. So we have seen how carbon dioxide gas is prepared. So we need to see what about how do we prepare dry carbon dioxide gas. So it is the same procedure. You get calcium carbonate, you put it in a flat bottom of the flask, then you add dilute hydrochloric acid, then effervescence will have to occur. Then the gas now, after the effervescence, the gas is passed through a wash bottle containing potassium hydrogen carbonate. So it is passed through a wash bottle containing potassium hydrogen carbonate. So this potassium hydrogen carbonate is to remove excess acid sprays. So from there, after it has removed the excess acid sprays, then the gas is again passed through another wash bottle containing concentrated sulfuric acid to dry it, or it is passed through a U-tube containing anhydrous calcium chloride. So this anhydrous calcium chloride is also to dry it. So you can either pass it in concentrated sulfuric acid or in anhydrous calcium chloride. So from there, the gas is finally collected by downward delivery method because it is denser than air, and the equations are the same. Only the diagram is done which changes. So here we have the diagram. So now in this diagram, as we can see, we have calcium carbonate in the flat bottom of the flask. Then dilute HCl is added. Then after the dilute HCl is added, there will be effervescence. Then the gas now is passed through a wash bottle containing potassium hydrogen carbonate to absorb excess acid sprays. It is again passed through concentrated sulfuric acid to dry it, and then it is collected into this gas jar as dry carbon dioxide gas. Hope we are together. So if you don't understand anything here, you just put it in the comment down there. I have to use all means and I answer you, and draw clear diagrams. As you can see, this diagram, when you are drawing these diagrams, they are always like on a table. They are always like on a table on the same line. So you take note of that. Then now, how do we test for carbon dioxide gas? How do you know that this one is carbon dioxide gas? That is another important question which we needed to know. So carbon dioxide is tested using calcium hydroxide, or the one which we call lime water. So it is tested using lime water, calcium hydroxide. So what do you observe? When you pass carbon dioxide gas through calcium hydroxide, when you pass it through calcium hydroxide, a white PPT is formed, a white precipitate is formed. Hope there we are together. And now the equation will be calcium hydroxide plus carbon dioxide gas. Because they are reacting, it forms calcium carbonate, which is a solid, and then after the calcium carbonate is formed, you also form water. So this calcium carbonate is the one that we call a white precipitate. So now we have seen how carbon dioxide is tested. So we are ending here our video. So please remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you can follow all our lessons of chemistry, biology, and others that are coming. So subscribe and please share with your friends. Comment if you don't understand anything. We shall have to answer you, and please like the video. So in today's lesson, we have seen what carbon cycle is. We have seen how the processes which add carbon dioxide to the atmosphere and the ones that reduce carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. We have also seen how carbon dioxide gas is prepared from the laboratory in the laboratory from marble chips and dilute hydrochloric acid. We have also seen the diagrams. Hope you have understood. And we have also seen how carbon dioxide can be prepared from other carbonates just by getting any carbonate and adding nitric acid or any other acid. You have to form carbon dioxide gas, with an exception of sulfuric acid on calcium carbonate, and we have seen the reason as the question shown here. I've also seen the laboratory preparation of dry carbon dioxide gas, how dry carbon dioxide gas is prepared. We have seen how it is passed through different wash bottles containing different chemicals so that it can be dried. Also, we have seen how we can test for carbon dioxide gas. So don't miss lesson 4, where we shall continue to see the physical and chemical properties of carbon dioxide gas. What is the chemical behavior of carbon dioxide? That will be our lesson 5. So our lesson 5 is soon to be uploaded in the next week, so please be patient. So if you are new to this channel, remember to subscribe. You remember to like the video, share and comment. Have a good day.